Today we're going to briefly discuss creating a 3D piping over a 3D polyline route line. The first thing I'm going to do in my AutoCAD setup is to check my units and make sure that I'm in architectural feet and inches. 16th of an inch precision is pretty much what I default to. And then I'm also going to make sure that my PType or my point type is set to something that I can see. So right now I'm switching to 2.5 inch point size with the circle and X through it, and I'm going to set it to absolute units. No matter what I zoom in or out, that identifying point mark should show at 2.5 inches. And I hit OK, and in my screen I have the circle with the X through it here and another one closer to my origin point here. Now in my view, I'm going to zoom extents and then scroll out just a little bit, and I'm going to switch my viewport configuration to 2 vertical. In my left hand view, I'll kind of center that up. In my right hand view, I'm going to switch to an isometric angle, and I'll take a quick look at my setup and see that my point here and here are at a different location in space. I'm going to do a quick distance command and target my node, and at first glance it does not grab that node. That is because my point snaps are not targeting the node. I can either toggle this on, or I can use the shift and right click options to target a point or node. And I select that point, I'm going to go up to my other one, target that one, and it's going to give me a X, Y, and Z. The X is 8 foot distance or delta. The Y is a 10 foot distance, and then the Z is a 9 foot distance. So I can navigate these a few different ways depending on how I want to do this, but I'm going to use a basic 3P from my point. I'm going to come vertical off of that point, and as I'm rising up, I want to make sure that I'm going in a Z elevation so as not to go too high on my Z elevation. I'm going to hit 7 foot, and I hit enter. And then I'm going to travel to the east. Now you'll notice that my command line scrolled past my data that I needed. So if I want to, I can screenshot this, I can copy the information, or I can just scroll up in my command line, or I can open my command window and put it on the screen. I'm going to target my 8 foot distance on my X or my 10 foot distance on the Y. I'm going to do my Y distance first. I'm going to go 10 foot north. Then I'm going to go 8 foot east, and then I have 1 final foot to rise, or 2 foot to rise, to get to my vertical point. And I hit enter. And so that is my 3D route line. So anywhere that I select, anywhere on that line, I have my route line. If I need to jog something, I can select one of the grips, and add a vertex, and create a 45-degree jog, or change elevations if need be. So this is my route line. I'm going to take a quick pause, and I'm going to load the fabrication software. And if you've loaded it before, you can use the Takeoff command. If not, you can Appload it. The Appload brings up your current folder that you're targeting, which is AutoCAD software. We're going to go 1 folder up to our Autodesk software and scroll down to find AutoCAD of the same year of the AutoCAD fabrication that I'm going to be using, Fabrication 2020. And then I'm going to go into my CADmep, and I'm going to be looking very bottom for an ARX CADmep version. I'm going to hit load, and that should create the fabrication link to their current 2020. I'm going to grab the Imperial content. I'm going to hit OK. And this is just going to load the Imperial library for the fabrication software. And then once that's done, I can close this interface. At this point moving forward, once I've loaded this software 1 time, I should be able to return to AutoCAD and then just use the Takeoff command to load fabrication. Again, I can close that Appload screen. Now, the first time you use Fabrication CADmep, your interface is a little tweaked, so you'll want to modify this a little bit. All of our fittings and library for our parts is located on the left-hand side, and it's compressed. So I'm going to drag that out a little bit, and now you can see more of the fittings. I'm going to drag it out just a little bit more. And I usually prefer 3 horizontal stack. And then at the very top of the screen, this bar where it says supply, air, and none is your service and section selection. I'm going to click and hold that far left-hand corner, and I'm going to pull that out. And then as I move it to the bottom of the screen, I'm going to push it underneath the library of fittings, and I'm going to let that go, and it should dock. And the reason I favor the bottom is because I want to be able to see the service and selection, or service and section, but I don't want it to take up too much space because I want to see my fittings more. So here, I'm going to pick something associated more with what I do. And I'm going to pick the hydronic, and I'll choose a chilled water or process chilled water supply. And the reason for this is it actually has a copper solder and a carbon steel welded catalog. And I'm going to favor the solder because it's the smaller caliber parts, and I'm going to go for this copper pipe 90s and other fittings. And on this interface, we have the 3D polyline. So we're going to use this T-bar, and on the 5th icon down, there's a fill option. If I left click and hold on that option, it flies out a submenu. The first one is fill. And what that means is I select the points, and as I click, it begins to add piping of whatever service and size I deem. The next one is fill between 2 ends, which means you have to have existing piping to do that. And then the third option is flex fill. We're going to avoid that one. And then the final one is our gold, and this is Polyline 3D Fill. So if you already have a route line, doesn't matter what software it came from, you can typically Polyline 3D Fill. So I'm going to choose Polyline 3D Fill by simply letting go. And it's going to bring up a selection box, and it's going to be visible in the viewport that I'm currently selecting in. And it failed. I'm going to hit, there we go. I hit spacebar to reactivate the command. It says LFill or line fill, and I'm going to select the line. And the first time it works, it's going to ask you the service that you're already in, and it's going to ask you to pick a size. Now, right below the service is your section, and if you have sections established for your project, this is where you would establish it. And if it was level 0 or level 1, these help you determine your hanger lengths and things like that. If you don't have it established, leave it alone. The round is because we're using piping. If you're doing ductwork, you'll have an oval or rectangular option as well. We're going to choose round because we're using piping, and we're going to choose a size that is common. I'm going to choose 2-inch. The elevation unrestricted and the offset are not going to be used at this time. We're going to hit OK. At that point, you should simply see your screen flicker, and then your pipe will fill and automatically take off for the pipe lengths to cut into your fitting. So that's one great feature to the Polyline 3D Fill. And I'll let that catch up real quick, and I'm going to actually change my visual style to conceptual so you can see that there are fittings that are separate than the pipe. Now, I'm going to take one step back, and I'm going to grab all of the piping. So I'm going to select just the piping, and then right-click, and I'm going to select similar. And that should select all of the piping components and hit delete. And I'm going to do one thing to mess this up. And I'm going to hover on a grip, and I'm going to add a vertex, and I'm going to stack the vertex directly on top of each other. So now, when I hover on that point, it doesn't know what to do because there's 2 points stacked directly on top of each other, which eliminates the ability for the Polyline 3D Fill to work. So you have add vertex, and then you have a double stacked grip, and then you have add vertex. And each one of those recognizes that there are points or changes of direction. When I hit escape, I'll come back to my Polyline 3D Fill, come back over, I'm going to select that again, choose the service and the size, and hit OK, and it will select, and sometimes we didn't get an error. Alright, I have to break it now. So this is a quick pause. I'm going to select that line. I'm going to hover on the grip. And I'm going to add a vertex. And this time I'm only going to go to the east by 1 inch. I'm going to type 1, enter, and that puts a grip there. And we're going to see how this behaves with the Polyline 3D Fill now. Polyline 3D Fill. It asks me to select my line. I come up, choose my surface and my size, and I hit OK. Select my line, and it disconnects. And it sometimes is because of that extra grip. It doesn't know what to do with a system where that extra grip is added into there, because it doesn't know what to fill in. So we're going to do that one more time. This time when we select it, and the.mark, surface, and size, and hit OK, it should fill. And again, it was that extra grip causing an issue with your route line. That's the basics on getting a piece of pipe shown on a three-dimensional route line.